Friday night and part one of the Battle for Blacktown delivered an upset for the ages as the All-Star girls hustled their way to a 3-0 victory over the Blacktown Spartans here at this very venue. The celebrations were grand and the shockwaves swept this community off its feet. This afternoon, we do it all over again, double the fun and double the footy. It's now the boys' turn. The hour hand is touching on 3 p.m, and when it does, the men's Premier League 2 All-Stars will lock horns with the Blacktown Spartans 20s men. When it gets to 5 p.m, the Premier League First Division All-Stars will tackle the Spartans' first grade men. If you're new here, this is the third, now annual Battle for Blacktown, where the semi-professional club, the Blacktown Spartans, put their reputations at stake against a bunch of park footballers who want nothing more than to spoil the party. The underdogs versus the established. The All-Stars are comprised of the best 18 players from a local sports division and a coach nominated for being the best tactician throughout the season. In the Premier League 2, the league title was won by Polonia, but the final series was won by Glenwood Redbacks, and it's to the surprise of no one to see that a lot of the boys, wreathed in red, don the age-old Blacktown colours tonight. And as you can tell, it's colours they're used to wearing. Black and red, the All-Stars will wear. There's a heavy contribution from one-time Premier League winners Oakville, who did so back in the 90s, but have boasted a team that is known for having exceptional, electric individual quality in some areas of the pitch, while Town Rangers FC, the local version, not the representative club, brings some real pace and power at either end of the pitch, including the division's Player of the Year award recipient, who starts up top. For the Spartans, a new coach stands in the dugout for what we consider today to be his first competitive fixture. Unlike the girls on Friday night, the Spartans boys are in the midst of a pre-season that reaches round 1 in just 3 weeks. They faced Dunbar Rovers yesterday. There was wins and 1 draw across the board, and the question on everyone's lips heading into this week and this game day was, which day would they play their strongest 11, in the friendly on Saturday or in the live stream exhibition here on Sunday? Well, that question is about to be answered. My name is Mark DePoli. From wherever you're watching around the world, I welcome you here today for part 2 and then part 3 of the Battle for Blacktown. 2 back-to-back matches that will provide you with an exhilarating Sunday evening. A reminder to you, this is Blacktown Football Park in Rooty Hill. If you live locally, you've got 4 hours to get here and experience this in person, because it's going to be, I promise you, a hell of a ride. I think we should go through those lineups now. We'll begin with the Spartans. They're going to play their 2025 first grade, first choice goalkeeper, Justin Biega, to make his competitive/friendly debut today. He'll don the 23 jersey with the gloves on, of course. Addison Abdullah, who's just 17, along with Ashton King, also 17, were the 20s 2 top goal scorers last year, despite, yes, playing as wing-backs, combining for 14 goals alone. Count some assists, which are harder to record, of course, and that goes right through the roof. Addison, first of all, in the 37 jersey, debuted in the Australian Cup in first grade as an at the time 16-year-old. Now 17, he'll be hoping to don that first grade strip a couple more times. The back three in between those 2 brilliant wing-backs are Sebastian Carlino into his second year at the club, Jaden Carr, who played in the first grade All-Star fixture last year, and Valentino Mazzotta, just 16 years old in his 4th year at the club, formerly of the team across the park in Blacktown City. A midfield 2 of Kane Reid, who in the last 3 years has shot up over a foot in height, is next to Jasper McFadden, whose dad, Grant, is part of the coaching lineup here, and older brother plays in the first grade space. Danny Park is on the right-hand side of a front 3, next to, of course, Yusuf Amin in the 26 jersey, and Fidel Hawke returns to the club for the first time after a 2-year stint in SD Raiders, a sharp, dead-eyed striker who is going to be real difficult for the All-Stars to contain tonight. The 2 teams are in the tunnel ready to make their way out onto the pitch, and while they do that, let's go through the All-Star lineup. This is how it goes. Garen Serrata becomes the first ever All-Star to feature in both divisional representative teams. He played last year as the starting goalkeeper for the first team All-Stars, so in the First Division All-Star representative. Now he plays for the Second Division All-Star representatives. At 35 years old, 1 All-Star cap to his name. He was crucial 12 months ago. He will be today as well. A back four from right to left, that reads Jordi D'Alessandro, one of the representatives of Park Lee in the 22 jersey, closing in on a decade of service at the club. He's a guy who knows exactly what it means to breathe and live football. He's worked with Football Australia in the coaching department. He worked with Hills a couple of years ago as a SAP coordinator as well. Next to him is Nathan Escalinen in the 12 jersey, who's a representative of Oakville, played 180 minutes towards the end of the season on the weekend because he was needed across both grades. Next to Polonia's Aidan Cox in the 15 jersey, only into his 3rd year in 2025 of actually playing Premier League football. Unbelievable, his rise at the late blooming age of 31. At left back, it's Glenwood Grand Final winner Lachlan Inns, whose brother Ben will debutise off the bench today. The Junior Redback of the Year award winner, despite the fact that he's at a club of 700 representatives, is someone who knows as well what it means to represent the black and the red. Meds Mecca, also of Oakville, begins at the base of the midfield, formerly of Bella Vista FC and formerly a Spartans women's first grade and youth physio. Unbelievable, now he versus the men on the pitch. A midfield 2 from Polonia of Adrian Letaire and, of course, Jacob Skiberis, the former Schofield's Scorpions, Rivo and Juniors representative, next to Adrian Letaire, who picked up the first goal of the season in 2023, which also happened to be in a live stream game. So if you count this as the first game of the season, you can expect him and have odds on him to score as well. A front 3 that sounds so deadly on paper. We'll start on the right. Mwene John Malenja in the 35 jersey was such an electric live wire when he burst into the scene 2 years ago. This season was a bit quieter, but his game developed all around, you'd have to say. Off to the left, it's Marco Bravo Ortiz, the man from Chile, the Chilean sensation, who debutised this year at Glenwood, was formerly of Dundas, and what Dundas lost was Blacktown District's gain. What a player, what a guy. Through the middle, it's the Player of the Year winner of Town Rangers FC, Ebuka Iwoha in the number 9. 10 goals and 3 assists in 2024 might not ring like Player of the Year material for a striker, but the way that this guy, who has no previous NPL experience at any level, by the way, is able to bring the ball forwards with either foot, strike on either foot, how strong he is in the challenge and holding off oppressors, and as well as the amount of times he progressively carries the ball into dangerous areas and creates shot-creating actions, is unfathomable until you watch him. That's why he won Player of the Year. Those are the 2 lineups. It's the All-Stars with a point to prove. When this game debutised 2 years ago in 2023, it was a 4-3 stunner where the lead changed hands on 2 occasions and 5 goals were scored in a 12-minute spell, all from one team. The All-Stars have a point to prove, especially after last year. This game was torn away from them due to the heat. You may remember we had to move both games back 2 hours. Then this game got canned in favour of the PL1 versus first grade game. So, what does that mean now? It means that both teams out here have a point to prove. A real big point to prove. So the All-Stars, it's a team that last year would have featured a lot of Tigers representatives. Those guys, of course, moved up to Division 1 this year. The Polonia boys will be following them into the top tier next year. What can the majority Polonia team out there actually tie together? Of course, Lachlan Nixon, the Golden Boot winner with 26 goals, including on one Saturday night in the rain against Newbury, 5 goals and 1 assist in one match of the round game at this venue. He's been left onto the bench. He will debutise off of it, capable through the entire spine of the team, even in defence and midfield. Yes, I kid you not, the striker that can play in defence. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for Blacktown kicks back off, part 2. Plenty of fun to come here tonight. Plenty of goals, I'm sure, in store. The Blacktown Spartans coming off the back of some pretty heavy games yesterday in the heat against Dunbar Rovers. The PL2 All-Stars themselves might seem like they're advantageous from that point of view. No, because unfortunately they're not in the midst of a professional pre-season that incurs 3 training sessions minimum per week. What can these boys, the park footballers, pull together? A mix of Town Rangers, a mix of Oakville, a mix of Glenwood, the grand final winners, a mix of Polonia, the promotion experts. Can they pull a rabbit out of the hat? And don't forget, of course, at right back, Park Lee represented as well. First touch for Sebastian Carlino, the number 11 wearing centre-back. You might notice as well that the Spartans are wearing their alternate jersey, not the away or the home strip, the alternate jersey, which was, in fact, very similar to the All-Star jersey last year. The All-Stars wearing, of course, black and red, the classic, most known Blacktown strip of years and years it has been. This is the first touch here for Marco Bravo Ortiz, a supporter of course, Universidad Chile, back home in his native South American state. Scored so many goals this year, Marco Bravo. 16 goals, 9 assists, and by the way, of which those 16 goals, 8 of them were match winners. So he is truly a match winner. First big tackle for Jordi D'Alessandro. The Parkley sole representative wants to do his club good after a difficult couple of years. First touch there, I do believe, for Fidel Hawke it was, back in Spartans colours in the first competitive debut since returning to the club. Easy pickings for the man who's represented both grades in Garin Serrata and will actually feature on the bench for the PL1 game due to a late pull-out to Dean Kenny Rogers. First touch here of significance for Meds Mecca, the former Spartans physio, of course, Aidan Cox. Spreads it onto his right foot and brings it to Jordi D'Alessandro. Used to manage multiple bars when he was in his slightly earlier 20s. So some quite great success too out at Rouse Hill Town Centre and then Bella Vista Hotel before he moved into that full-time coaching gig at Football Australia. And now he's working at Mate Internet, believe it or not. So marketing is really in his name. Can he potentially fashion a chance up the right-hand side? Aidan Cox has played winger, has played through the spine of the defence. He's actually preferred in the back two, usually played in the back three this year for Polonia as they won promotion. This is Addison Abdullah, by the way, in the 37 jersey. This is the kid who picked up 7 goals as one of the top goal scorers from fullback, or should I say wingback last year. He's a real sensation. Back this goes to Sebastian Carlino. Would have actually featured in this game, this fixture last year, had it not been for the Heat cancelling this game. He was on the team sheet. I had a look at my notes from last year today, and I was like, I recognise that name. Here is Carlino moving forward, former Bonnie Rig White Eagles representative. There are a couple who have actually represented the old White Eagles. Infield pass there was by Abdul. Chasing up that right-hand side is Mazzotta. And it will be a throw in favour of those in white, which is the Blacktown Spartans today, of course. Don't you forget it. Just be careful there, Skipperus. You might actually know Jacob Skipperus as Jacob Parnell. Had a name change towards the middle to late parts of last year in honour of his late and great father, which is a beautiful thing and not something I had any issues, of course, adjusting with. It's a fantastic, fantastic honour to family. Out here still strutting his stuff, returned from injury on 2 separate occasions last year, and one game that he came back from injury, Jacob Skipperus, he actually scored a free kick to win a game against Glenwood. That'll be the first foul of the day by Meds Mecca, just a bit too slow there. Really good work there by young Danny Park, although if I put young as a descriptor in front of every person's name in his 20s, it'll be quite annoying by the end of the night. But this is the first real dangerous opportunity for the Spartans to have on Garin Serrata's net. The All-Stars will have to line up at least a 4-man wall here. 5 will be now as Ibuka Iwaha, the Player of the Year, joins. But Lachlan Innes jumps out to mark one of the short options. So a 4-man wall. The All-Stars need to stay firm right here. Struck from the free kicks, looking like it's going to be too high, and that it was. So a reminder, if you're tuning in here to watch your son play in this 20s match, a reminder that there will be more fun on offer after this as the crowd builds here, by the way. Looking like a really, really healthy showing from the Blacktown community. There will be a game at 5 p.m. for you to tune into as well. So I'll be sure to see you all there. Ibuka Iwaha, the Player of the Year, has got past 1, was slid into, couldn't be stopped the first time. Mwene John Malenja running on his outside, then it came to his inside, but it ended up being a good tackle there by number 34, Valentino Mazzotta. One of a couple of Italian boys in the old 20s lineup. It is a mix of 20s and 18s this year. It's going to be treated as a reserve grade side. So if you're 20, you're not straight away fast-tracked into that 20 side. You have to earn your spot, in which you can then earn your first grade spot should the time feel appropriate for Coach Ben Rollison and his highly skilled coaching team around him. So the first time that they've been able to really play out the back since the opening moments of the game. This is going to be led by Sebastian Carlino. They're obviously occupying this back three, these two. This is Jaden Carnell, a Kellyville Colts junior, speak of our Women's Premier League compatriots. Nice footwork here by Ashton King, who's doing a joinery and cabinet making apprenticeship at the moment. I'm sure he'll join in on the attacks as the game goes on. There's plenty more where that came from. Welcome to season 2025. Jaden Carr, again, started next to Peter Pelikanos last year in the All-Star versus All-Star PL1 versus first grade match. Massive bump there by Jordi D'Alessandro. They're asking for the foul. They're not going to get it. Happy to bounce this. No real press being led by the All-Stars. A reminder, they only really had 6 to 8 training sessions depending on availability as a whole squad in preparation for this. Of course, it was interrupted by the New Year and Christmas too. So no real time to sort of organise a press. Hard to get footage of the opposition when they are a 20s team as well. You really have to intentionally go out and spend a Saturday watching them against Dunbar, for example. So pretty impressive what we've seen so far. Chance here. How quick is Lachlan Inns? He's done really well, the experienced Glenwood boy. See Jasper McFadden in the number 8 jersey. It's the most appropriate jersey number probably out there on the entire pitch. A midfielder wearing 8. He's going to drop in here potentially to receive. Escalinen in the back there of, I think, Fidel Hawke came to the edge of the box, might fall here for their top goal scorer last year, and it was blocked by Abdullah, who's got first grade experience. Aiden Cox was just about enough. A curling effort on goal, and it reaches the top of the netting, but it didn't find the back of the net. Really nice angling on that strike there. Very, very difficult to strike a volley with a bit of finesse behind you. D'Alessandro looking for an option in front of him. Marco Bravo Ortiz is nowhere to be seen. Can't find a triangle out of here, and they've given it away. That's poor by the All-Stars. Pushed forward there by, I do believe, Kane Reed, who might be wearing a jersey number that I told you wasn't true. This is Marco Bravo Ortiz, the Chilean sensation, dropping in to do what he does best. One of the top-ranked players last year on our referee point system. Moine John Malenja has barely touched the ball in the opening couple of moments of the game. Escalinen, his Oakville teammate, of course, now trying to bring the ball out of defence, capable through the midfield as a 6 or an 8 as well. This will come here to Marco Bravo Ortiz in the central channels here. He's past 1. He'll cut back. Couldn't get past Kane Reed. Meds Mecca will go to his left and find Lachlan Inns. Oakville combining with Glenwood there. Back to Oakville now here with Polonia's Jacob Skiberis. Back to Polonia's Aiden Cox, past the halfway line to Buka Iwaha. The furthest player forward, you'd say, on paper, drops in to receive there, as the All-Stars are just trying to mix it up a little bit here. D'Alessandro in front of Marco Bravo Ortiz. Right winger and right back have swapped. Now they'll move back into position. Meds drops in to receive. He gets on the ball now. In behind was Marco, who was well offside. Is there a chase here for Buka Iwaha? Jeez, he's quick, but the keeper's going to read that really easily. And he had time to do it too. Abdallah recycles things. Carlino from one side to the other. And we start again with Jaden Carr. Slight press here by Jacob Skiberis just to hurry him up a little bit. Nice touch here by Park. He sends that forward. It's now a foot race. D'Alessandro, look at Reed running. He's quick. He's bearing down on goal. Garen Serrata denies him. It's the most important moment of the opening moments. A barge, a clearance, and the All-Stars survive again. Still the pressure mounts. Not quick to drop back the PL2 All-Stars. Under the pump here early on against the semi-professional boys. Recycled here at the back by Mazzotta. He continued on his run. Put into the box. Escalinen has to be first to it. He is, and he sends it out, and a breathing point for the All-Stars. Needed. It was very much needed. Abdallah. They're going to change their team except for their goalkeeper at halftime. So these boys have 45 minutes to run their absolute hearts out, which will be made more difficult by the fact that they did play yesterday and are fatigued. Has to be careful here. Meds Mecca, he's a real unit. Questions might be asked of how agile he might be compared to some younger players, but he's done real well so far. Look at the acrobatics there by Justin Biega in goal. Picked up here by Jasper McFadden. Would have spent hours and hours as a young'un playing alongside Jet, his older brother, who's debutised plenty of times for the Spartans' first grade side. Rain's actually starting to come down here, and if you look overhead, you might not get the chance to, but if you are here and listening in, perhaps the darkest of clouds I've seen in the last 48 hours is overhead right now. Hopefully it clears up. Dangerous. Too much time and space to think about this. A penetrating pass in behind. A flick towards Fidel Hawk on his competitive second debut. Looks to flick it towards the back post. Far too easy. Spartans combine with a lovely bit of over-the-top play. A persevering drive through the middle. A ball in behind. A first-time dink. A bounce and then a clip to the back post. Garen Serrata beaten to it. And a simple finish. But they are allowed to do it. And they've just combined with a really, really special move. That's something to be really proud of, considering the fatigue levels that are probably starting to already set in. There's actually a hint of hail here at Blacktown Football Park. You might be able to hear that on your surround sound, perhaps. Beware all car owners as the... Wow, it actually is hailing. It's been a long time since that. Wrong day to bring my Sunday drive to Blacktown Football Park, that's for sure. Well, how can the All-Stars respond? And hopefully this stays as light as it is right now, or we might be looking at a suspended game, ladies and gentlemen. When John Malenja goes down. Yusuf Amin, who was so critical in that goal. Forward they come again. From distance, another strike. I think it was McFadden. It was blocked either way. Out they play their way out of defence again. It's Meds Mecca. Been blocked by Adesir Abdallah. All the channels being blocked so far as the All-Stars are feeling the pinch of the Spartans' press. Carlino will restart it. Ibuka Iwaha, the only real man who's instigating some kind of press. The All-Stars trying to find their way to the halfway line in defence. Rain coming down a little bit harder than it did even 2 minutes ago. I bet you that's going to come into play at some point in this first half. Dainty footwork there by Jaden Carr, who's obviously got a lot more experience than he did 12 months ago. Apologies for the microphone echo you're about to hear. I'm forced to shut the door to keep the electronics nice and dry. I'll open that door and relieve the echo as soon as I can. Spartans putting the pinch on again. Was there a hint of offside? Yusuf Amin sliding challenge with Escalidin, who's just cut up in his left leg now and blocked what ended up being an offside call. That must suck for him. Garen Serrata, who, by the way, as I've just been politely reminded, is not the only representative of Park Lee, alongside Jordi D'Alessandro. As this shot comes in and Garen Serrata of Park Lee is called into action again. Yusuf Amin hit the deck hard, got a strong shot off, and so far it's the keeper keeping them in the game. Rain forcing some of the fans off to the sideline. Apologies for any interference you might hear with the mic. Really, really sharp save by Garen Serrata. A corner to defend. Two hands raised by Abdallah. Poor corner in the end. D'Alessandro drops it back to Colonia's Aiden Cox, trying to bring it forward by hook or by crook. Sent in behind when John Malenja was never going to get there. Here they come again, the Spartans. Skibberus trying to put one in on one of his oppressors. Chances forming here though. Left wing back out of position. Mwene, John Malenja of Oakville. Square pass, Marco Bravo Ortiz. Marco Bravo Ortiz again, easy pickings. For Justin Biega, he'll be appreciative of that. You wouldn't want to concede that on your competitive debut. Addison Abdallah, left-footed, clip in behind. Cox read it well, though. Here is Aiden Cox. Midfield of All-Stars is next to non-existent right now. struggling to create anything besides a ball in behind from defence to attack. That's where they're losing this game right now. Skipperis is someone who's good enough to change that. Tried to penetrate it in behind, Jaden can't stood firm. This is a good touch here by Danny Park. He sends it in behind. Fidel Hawke is quick. He's running a bit diagonal away from goal. He's had to slow things down. All Stars back in numbers. And away it was by Jordi D'Alessandro. Had a solid enough game so far. Park, square pass, Ashton King. Grain coming down a bit harder now. Far too much space. Escalinen, Hawke, Escalinen slid in. Still no one marking on Fidel Hawke. He's got far too much time to work. All Stars in real trouble if they don't clear their lines. Here it comes again. Lining one up, and sending it wide. Close by Addison Abdullah, and you can tell why, despite being a wingback on paper, he's quite dangerous. Darren Serrata, the second of two representatives of Parkway alongside Jordi D'Alessandro. Yep, rain coming down now, more of the crowd heading towards the sideline. It's really picking up now. This will feel real good if you're one of the players who's finding the conditions hot out there, that's for sure. Here it comes. Brave the conditions, boys. Enjoy the exhibition. Here comes Mwene John Malenja. Hasn't had his best game so far. As it buckets down here in Rudy Hill. Well, where did this come from? Falls here with ease to Abdullah. Has time and space. Yusuf Amen darting forward. Fidel Hawke beating the offside trap. No, he didn't. The flag raised either way. It was beaten away. My word, the conditions have just flipped on their head. There's three in front of us below the camera braving the conditions right now. Absolutely brave. Well, I can see why so many people tuned into the live stream today. Must have predicted this was coming. Well, this will be played just outside of the 18-yard box. Luka Iwaha might find himself in possession if he can get out of this tussle with a couple of Spartans midfielders. Rain bearing down on this pitch. It's ridiculous. Only 18 minutes played. We might.
Why should we risk an $8,000 camera?
The game finishing, or at least taking a little stint. Alessandro doing his best to battle with the conditions, and also Yusuf Amen. Forward comes Kane Reid, doing his best to beat Skibberus. Apologies for the rain we were seeing on the camera. We cannot help the wind. We're doing our absolute best to give you as much prime time coverage. Rain bearing right into the commentary box up here. Spartans have another free kick right on the edge of the box, put towards the back stick. It was headed away. Difficult to tell in these conditions when there's a clump of players who's who. If you've been born today and asked the question, what colour is the sky? You wouldn't say the word blue. Well, the hints of lightning and a bit of thunder, I think we're not far away from getting this game suspended. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologise for those who want the entertainment. Towards the middle of the penalty area, struck towards goal again. been cleared away only as far as Abdullah again, I do believe. Might fashion an opportunity with a bit of luck. Spartans are going to recycle it through Carlino. Back it comes to the corner, kick taker and Abdullah. Tries to steer it in. When Melenza is there. Well recycled there by Kane Reed. Carlino again. All the way back it goes. Jaden Carlino dropping to receive again. Very good ball distributing defender, I've been told. We've seen that so far in our beat 21 minutes. Chance here for Yusuf Amin. Darts past Pops. Slipped. Luka Iwaha being closed down by Jaden Carr. Chance forming here for the All-Stars. Can they find some runners? There's some tired midfielders behind them. Marco Bravo Ortiz is really wide of goal. Will win a corner. That's about as good as he could have done with the lack of support. Look at the midfield of the All-Stars. Really struggling to keep up with the tempo of the game, unfortunately. The fitness is just not there. The All-Stars will have their first corner of the match. No, they're not going to. We're going to go to the sideline. So this game temporarily suspended due to the conditions. Some thunder, some lightning we can't deal with. We will keep you updated on our Facebook as to what's happening in the coming half an hour plus. So do keep your eyes on social media. But until then, it's the Spartans up 1-0. See you soon, I hope. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Napoli, trying to give you an update on the current situation. So, Rudy Hill has just faced off in a heavyweight clash with Mother Nature and come out second best. Although the comeback is starting to happen now because the knockout occurred as the buzzer went off. So we're into round 2 now. The issue is that we are still battling some thunder and distant lightning, which means we have to delay. Now you may see on your screen people watching, people kicking a ball around, although you won't see referees, and that's because, technically they are following protocol. So, I implore you to stick around, to keep an eye on your screen, keep the volume up because I'll be quiet soon, I promise I won't try and drown you out now. But we are likely heading towards a half-time break, then half-time to let the field declutter and deflood itself naturally. The irrigation here is fantastic. And then we'll likely head out for a full and fruitful, hopefully goal-filled second half. So keep an eye on your screen, keep this stream running in the background wherever you're watching it, on your smart TV, but likely heading to a half-time, then a regular half-time break while the thunder clears away. We're only at 4 minutes on my count since the last lightning strike, although it does seem to be and appear that the lightning has since passed on. But if we do get a flash within any 30-kilometre radius of us, we do have to delay and restart that watch by 30 minutes. But my front door is open. As you can see, the camera is clean and the teams are keen to re-warm back up. So when that does start to occur and I get some more information to you, I will let you know what the plan is. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, just as a quick update, and I've just told you to keep an eye on your screen and ear on it too, but there was just another flash of rather loud lightning and thunder in tandem, which means the clock resets and still heading towards half-time with fingers crossed. See you soon, I hope.